Hello, hello, everybody. Can you see me? Happy Friday, TGIF. You know, you got to play that song after the EVP sesh that I did for the first time. She picked that song, guys. I'm telling you. She picked it. Put in one of the chat if you can hear me. Hello, hello. Hi, mods. Thank you for being here. Members, lovely members. Hi, Lynn. From Pennsylvania. Awesome. I need to go back to Hershey, Pennsylvania. Had such a good time there. Pennsylvania people are a little different. Like they're nice mean. I don't know how to explain it, but I had a good time in Pennsylvania. Awesome. All right. Hey, Izzy, PJ's Wish, Nancy B, Shani, my girl. So glad you're here. Gravy H, Martha, Holly Golightly, and everyone who I missed. Take guidance. All right. So, sorry, my screen's a little messed up here. We've got some stuff to get into. Now, these topics are not new. We're revisiting some things. I don't know if people have covered some of these items that I found, but I'm going to assume not and just do it anyway, because I saw some very interesting things. And let me know if you know of someone who has actually gone over in detail what I am, because I would like to look at their stuff too and just make sure that we're on the same page. Anyway, yes, please smash that like button as you come in. Thank you. Hey, Jeep Girl. All right. So the research that I did obviously is regarding Rose Bly's case, and of course Summerwell's and grandmother Candus Harer. Now, it also is going to include some very deep, traumatic SA-related content towards minors, children. And so I want you guys to be aware that these topics, if they are too much for you, please just be cautious. And if you can't take it, please don't watch this video. Maybe skip. I'll put some timelines in there, so timestamps in there just in case if you want to skip over the nitty gritty. Hey, Susanna. So just know that these things are going to be discussed. All right. It's not my favorite topic, obviously, but it has to be. The information's there, so this is what we're going to do. All right. So what do I mean by some information that I have found? Well, so we have Grandma, Summer, and Rose. Everywhere Grandis goes, it seems like trouble follows. Big trouble, big bad trouble. And I believe that, as I've said many, many times in the past lives, that it's generational trauma. Big time. The research that I've done and what's out there available for the public from the DOJ, the FBI, and other very credible organizations will tell you that typically generational trauma is based on not only your DNA, but habitual cycles of the same trauma or different types of trauma. And then you have it in your DNA to be more potentially prone to continue those things, and surround yourself with people who are either okay with it or doing the trauma or accept it, right? Listening with grands at the park. Oh, have fun, Afro. I wish I was at the park because these topics are so hard for me, I've had my own little trauma in my life, and it's not easy to talk about or to resurface, but we have two beautiful people who are missing. 6-year-old Summer and then Rose Bly. She went missing. Rose Bly went missing in August of 2009. I want you to keep that in mind. August 2009. There's so many dates that I go over that it's just ridiculous. So I'm like, wait, is that right? She was 21 years old. So August 21st, 2009. All right. As we know, she lived in Wisconsin with her then husband and kiddos, 2 children. And she went out for drinks with her cousin, from what the ex-husband said, and then she never returned back. Her car was found, I believe is it Cushing? Grantsburg, Wisconsin. And that's really all that I can tell you guys. I mean, depending on who you're asking, if they're related to the family or not, you're going to get mixed responses and mixed theories, right? So I really don't want to go over all of that today. I've done that way too many times with a person's name that rhymes with Shmishma, Lewitz, and I just can't do it today. Can't even believe I brought that up, but I banish thee. And your troll self. So anyway, yes, August 2009. Very long time. Now, at the beginning of my live, you saw that I called into the lab with Chris McDonough as a guest, and he stated that he had spoken to the lead detective, and that there is a potential suspect, and they are working it. So I don't consider it a cold case anymore, in my opinion, if they're actively looking at leads. And if Chris McDonough is correct, and they really are working on it, then that gives me really good hope. Because not only does it give me hope about Rose, it gives me hope about Summer. I've always said this, and I will stick to it, that if Rose's case gets solved, Summer's case will follow soon after. You know? Izzy, didn't I hear somewhere that the cousin said that wasn't true, that wasn't supposed to meet up? Correct. The cousin never, she came out and said that we weren't going to meet up for drinks. That's not true. So I don't know if anybody else heard that except for Christopher Larson, who is her ex-husband. Mind you, Christopher divorced Rose Bly 3 weeks, I believe, after her disappearance, which is shocking to me, no matter what, innocent or not. I would be extremely worried and very upset. She didn't take any clothes with her, no socks, no shoes, no nothing but herself and her car. So that's always been on my mind. Always. Now you got to think about who was around before she went missing. Let's look at Rose growing up a little bit. All right, let's see what kind of the situations were around the family. We all know that Grandma Candy was not in the girls' lives, meaning Candus, Bly, Jeannie, Rose, and I'm not sure if they have any other siblings or not. I've never really they might. But anyway, at least them 3 were abandoned at one point by her, from what I've seen. Excuse me. Do we know for sure why Candus Harer isn't supposed to be around children? No, because her records are sealed. Her Chris McDonough, it is about children, but we don't know what. It's sealed. The record is sealed, and that's very interesting to me that you would get those sealed. It's hard to do, and it costs a lot of money. I think that's the hardest part, is the money. But it's very interesting. I wanted to just dive into our topics today. You probably have an idea because of the essay trauma that I'm about to bring up. So please, trigger warning. I'm going to give you a few minutes while I go get my coffee, because I forgot, to think about if you want to be here. All right, give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back. mods, if you could let people know in the chat that this is going to be trigger related and to heed caution. All right, I am back. Now, if anybody feels so obligated to send a super chat or a super thanks so that we can raise our funds for our donations, we are super, super low since starting this channel. Not demanded or expected, but appreciated. All right, let's get into it. So, if anybody does not know who this is Candus's brother, Warren Harer. He is an extremely dangerous, or at least was an extremely dangerous SA offender. He is an RSO to this day. But I wanted to kind of go over this guy because I found some things. All right. Now, if anybody doesn't know, back in 1994, he was charged with a lot of crimes, a lot of violent SA crimes within the family. And the reason that I say that, I click on this little link here so that you could see where I'm going and how I'm getting this information. This photo was taken on September 13th, 2021, which would be 3 months. Yeah, 3 months after Poor Summer was taken. Now, the thing is that this man was released from the Wisconsin Health Department services. He was locked up for his crimes, and we'll get into that in a minute. This is verified as of April 25th from the National RSO Registry, the information that I'm getting this from, the place. So let me just click on it so that I can show you exactly where I'm getting this from, so nobody goes, yeah, because they like to do that. Yeah, this is a horrible, horrible, horrible situation, person, etc. I am not a robot. All right. Trigger warning. Heed at your own risk now. No, I don't want to really have his face in this picture. I guess I don't have a choice. But anyway, he's 64 years old. His registration began on November 23rd, 1994. He's a life registrant. At this point, he is compliant. All right. And you can see here the report date, 9/29/2021. This is his residence where he is staying. And I don't like putting people's information out there, but because he is, in fact, a dangerous RSO, I don't mind. This is for information just to make sure that everyone knows that this is where he resides and that he is a dangerous, or it was considered at one time dangerous. Oh, dope member for 4 months. Thank you. I appreciate that. She says, I just wanted to say I'm so proud of how hard you work for all the missing. Likewise, ma'am. Hey, Lou. So glad you're here. It's been so long. Lady CG, hey there. I should probably catch up with Chad. I apologize. But my planties, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in so long. I'm so glad you're here. What a day. Seeing all my good friends. Viv Croft. I know the UK, if you're an aggressive alcoholic, can't be around children. That's a wonderful, wonderful idea, because another case study that I found, and I'll go over this another time, but alcohol is a very, very, alcoholics have a higher chance of offending, even if they've never offended before. So anyway, another day. Registrant responded to latest USPS mail. Yes. Let's show the map. Whoopsies. What does that mean? I just want to see. All right. He's there. All right. So, from what I know. So, here's the offenses, okay? Are y'all ready? If you are, brace yourselves. If you're not, leave. Leave now. Come back later. On July 9th, 1984, there was a first-degree SA charge. All right. Hey, Ashley. I'm going to pull this up because I want y'all to see the steps I take to get to this information. So you can just type in, Harer. Just type in Harer. See what happens. Let's drill that down to Warren. Maybe we can find some other things here. Anyway, here is Warren's list of filings within the Wisconsin Circuit Court. All right. Now let's start with the first one. May 6th, State of Wisconsin versus Warren Scott Harer. See, let's just go down the list, y'all. I also wanted to tell you guys while we're waiting for that to load, let's just get it over with, okay? I don't like this, but it is what it is. Here is the 8 counts, all right? 8 counts of this word here with a child. This is the statute. He was found guilty but not guilty due to mental disease and defect, okay? Now let's look at the statute because I want everybody to understand and always reference this. If you don't know exactly, if somebody asks you, I want y'all to know, I want you to be prepared. Don't get a catitude with me. I get one back. I just poured coffee all over me. Hold on. All right, guys. All right. Trigger warning, y'all. I'm telling you. Very intense content. All right. This statute. Blank with a child. Whoever does any of the following is guilty of a Class C felony, marries or has contact with a child he or she knows is related either by blood or adoption. Now, I hate doing this because I know that this is probably very embarrassing, horrible, horrific, but don't have 2 family members go missing either on your watch. So either by blood or adoption, and the child is related in a degree of kinship closer than the second cousin. All right. Again, second cousin and closer to relation to you family-wise. So this is what he was charged with, 8 counts. Is it Harer? I'm gonna keep going with Harer, so because I will mess it up anyway, but that's okay. Just call her Grandis. Yeah. So you can also look at the history and the details. There were different offense dates, y'all. All right. March, April of 1994. March and April is when this happened. So I'm assuming that, there was multiple counts, and I don't know how many were involved, but it was the closest to him. All right. Now, if you think about 1994, all right, it's 2022, and it was 1994. That was 28 years ago. All right. Rose was born in 1984. So she'd be 38 years old. All right, let's just put it in perspective here that Rose was 10-ish. I'm not sure exactly when she was born. I don't have it. Pulled up here. I get really, really nauseous about talking about these things. It's very hard for me. So 10 years old. Let's say, what is Candus? 41? 42? I think. It was 28 years ago. Let's just say she's 41. Candus was 13, and I don't really know if I think Jeannie's older, but let's just say, 10, 13, 50, 60, 17. Rose is a year under me, 9/16/1987. Okay, I'm sorry. So 8, 7 years old. So either way, it doesn't matter. That around that time, they were non-consenting and they were family. If it was them, I don't know about the cousins and all that stuff. I'm just saying that it's a possibility, guys, that maybe that's exactly what happened. I'm not going to speculate. I'm just saying it's a possibility. I'm going to assume that at least someone close to Rose or Jeannie or Candace Bly, this might be the thing. Okay, so I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying. Heavy stuff. He pleaded no contest to each of these charges, and again, guilty but not guilty due to insanity, right? Mental disease and defect. I'm not going to go into the lawyer side. Please do not reach out to anybody regarding this information, okay? Client attorney privilege. You're wasting your time. Let's just look at what we know. All right. So April 28th, he had a bail bond hearing. Let's just go down the list. There was a search warrant later the next day. Had order appointed counsel, complaint with warrant filed, warrant canceled, served on May 10th. That's very interesting. Service, May 10th, 1994. Initial appearance, maybe that was just an error. Initial appearance on May 10th, May 17th of 1994. The motion hearing happened. Stipulation in order. Letters of correspondence probably saying, this is what we have decided to do to go to trial or whatever it may be. All right. I'm going to catch up a chat real quick because this is heavy and I will take a break when I need to. I want you to take a break and get your water when you need to. Because again, this is heavy. It's heavy. But this is the reality of what happens sometimes, and, as a medium, it doesn't make me feel very good to see and hear these things, which is a lot. So it's heavy. Please take a break. There's a physician's report on July 12th. There's an order of some kind on the 15th. We're just going down these, okay? We're not going to get into the nitty-gritty. There was an application for judicial assignment. I'm assuming assignment legal counsel to someone, probably Warren. Order assigned to a judge, judicial assignment order. Okay, to assign to a judge. Okay, got it. Preliminary hearing. Now, we all know what a preliminary hearing is, right? If you don't, I want to tell you wrong. I know what a preliminary hearing is. All right? It's a hearing in court where the Crown calls its evidence against an accused, right? Provide the evidence to see if this goes to trial, if this goes, has any bearing. And also witness testimony. What witness testimony is going to be allowed into the court, right? All right. So there's an exhibit list, which is the actual evidence that gets put into the judge's hands, basically, to see what, and the defense and the prosecution's office will argue back and forth to say what is legal grounds to be used in court as evidence. And then also the judge can kind of maneuver that entire situation, right? There's some more evidence, some more information. On November 23rd, he gets arraigned. All right. Same day, there's a plea hearing. On the 23rd as well, there is an appeal rights info on post-conviction relief. I'm not familiar with that 100%, but I'm assuming that's waiving the conviction relief. Let's see, post-conviction relief, a remedy that defendant may seek after a criminal conviction, attempting to reduce a sentence. Oh, that's right. Or reverse a lower court's decision. So it's basically an appeal, or to try to rectify having to do the appeal. So, okay, interesting. Dispositional order, judgment, plea questionnaire, waiver of rights on the 23rd. So this all happened on the same day. Letter of correspondence, basically saying what happened, right? Something was amended in February of 1995. And then that was it. So what we know is that he was found guilty, but not, right? Do we know exactly what that entails? Not necessarily. This is where it gets very tricky for me because we don't have the actual records yet. I have requested these records, but Freedom of Information Act, I highly doubt that I'll get them because of the situation. Might be something that they are looking into with Rose Bly's case. I'm not sure. All right. Well, hi. I'm live, by the way. My brother just walked in. Commitment sought against Harer, January 10th, 2003. This is where it gets very hard for me, guys. I'm not understanding. This is him in 2013. So keep all of that in mind. I know that was a lot, but he was guilty, not guilty. Okay. So this is in 2013. Let's jump ahead a little bit. They filed a petition under the state's SP predator law against Mr. Warren. Alleging that Warren S. Harer 54 is violent in that SA way and should be committed for treatment. So now I'm thinking, okay, you must have been in jail? Were you in jail? Were you not committed then? Right? It's always been in my head, like, okay, let's work on this here. Did you already serve your sentence? The Burnett County Circuit Court found probable cause on the petition and ordered Harer detained. A probable cause hearing will be scheduled at a future date to be determined. All right, so here we go. According to the DOJ petition, on November 23rd, 1994, which is what we saw right here. This will explain exactly what went down right here. All right. On November 23rd, Harer pleaded no contest to 8 counts of, you know what? Harer was found guilty, but not guilty due to mental disease and defect. He was committed to the Department of Health Services for institutional care for a maximum term of 80 years. All right, so that was his maximum allowance to be in state care. He was scheduled to be conditionally released from DHS on his NGI commitment, but will be detained at a DHS facility to await trial on the petition. So what does it mean to be conditionally released from the Department of Health Services on his NGI commitment? I want to know exactly what happened here, just in case it might be something that I feel could help Rose's case potentially, or to give you an understanding, at least bare minimum, how fucked up it was being involved in that family. How about that? Bare minimum. All right. Let me just read this. I'm not getting anything there. So, Department of Health Services, CGI commitment. Let's do Wisconsin. Sorry, guys. I just found this today. And you know what, guys? I woke up thinking about Rose, just thinking about her. I don't know what, it just hit me. It was just like, I feel you, you know? And even smelt a rose. That's what she does. And I just jumped right on into Warren, just right on in. I opened up my phone to check YouTube, and it was like, no. You need to research. Today is research day, and I surely obliged. When Rose Bly tells me to do something, you bet your ass I do it, and I dress for the occasion. All right. CGI, end-to-end services. I don't really know exactly what it means. I'm not finding anything. But the Wisconsin Tracking Program is committed to making our data useful for understanding environmental health trends. Anyway, I guess we're just going to assume that the commitment is to go to DHS, right? So he was already in there. But I'm not sure, y'all. I'm not freaking sure. I don't know. So Chapter 980 of the Wisconsin statutes relate to the control, care, and treatment of SV persons. Under Wisconsin law, a person may be subject to a civil commitment when the person has been convicted of a SV offense, has a mental disorder, and is dangerous to others because the mental disorder makes it likely he or she will commit further acts of violence. I'm not sure. NGI, I'm not sure. I do not know. Let's do NGI. Conditional release program. Bam. Grandma Brooke, thank you. Conditional release program, ironically updated April 18th. Let's look at that. Thank you. I know we're jumping a little bit, but we'll get back on track here in just a second. Not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. Now, this is what Warren was guilty, not guilty of. The 8 counts. The criteria for not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect plea is the defendant was not responsible for criminal conduct if at the time, as a result of this disease or mental defect, they lacked substantial capacity, either to appreciate the wrongfulness of their conduct or confirm their conduct to the requirements of the law. One must ask yourself, was there something going on that led him to this situation? Trauma can cause brain damage. You're looking at somebody who has had brain scans. I thought I was schizophrenic hearing ghosts my whole life. turns out, yes, I do have some trauma, but my amygdala is heightened, meaning more spiritual things happen when you have this activity. Anyway, all right. Trauma can do some damage to your brain, especially long-term trauma over and over and over. And I'm talking emotional and psychological abuse. All right. So people committed under this legal status are known as clients, not offenders. Thank you, guidance. They are not considered to be convicted of the crimes and they were charged. All right. So what happens? The committing court determines placement. All right. So we saw that. We saw that somewhere. Excuse me. I just ate, guys. Sorry. Burpee. Anyway, a designated DOC conditional release agent functions as the representative of DHS, which therein helps guide the breakdown of what his commitment is, right? Sassy Brenda, years ago, a teacher and deacon in our church came out at church camp. He was doing that to his daughter and a friend of my daughter. His wife knew. They arrested him, yet didn't do anything. It happens a lot, y'all. Happens a lot. And it's too much. Should never happen. To be a rarity, if anything. All right, a person may be committed under this statute for a specific period of time not exceeding 2/3 of the maximum term of imprisonment that could be imposed. For felonies committed on July 2002, which it was before then, the court must commit defendants to a specified period not exceeding the maximum term of imprisonment that could be imposed. First-degree murder is a commitment for life. Condition release. You need to remember this, guys. Conditional release criteria. The committing court is also the releasing authority. In Wisconsin, the standard for receiving a conditional release is dangerousness. You hear that? That is, the court will deny a petition for conditional release if it finds clear and convincing evidence that the person who posed a significant risk of bodily harm to themselves or to others, or serious property damage, if conditionally released. So they have to really, in my opinion, they should be careful and concise about the decisions they make. All right. For people committed prior to 1987, which is not applicable, state law allows people found not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect to request re-examination of their commitment every 4 months. That was prior to 1987. I did not see this anywhere where he was re-examined every 4 months. Yeah. Predisposition investigation reports and supplemental examinations. If the court lacks sufficient information into making a decision for placement, it may adjourn the hearing and order DHS to conduct a predisposition investigation or a supplemental examination. You will see these here in a minute. Not the actual ones, but you'll just see that they had been introduced to the court, right? They're completed by a case manager, which is typical. Conditional release plans. Let's just open this bad boy up and see if we can find anything about specifics. Like how does that work? Because he is released. He was released in September of 2021. This is why this is important to go back to this video. If you ever have a conversation with anybody on YouTube or anywhere else, I want you to have the right stuff. So let's look. You shall avoid all conduct which is in violation of the statute, state statute. Report all arrests or police contact to your agent within 72 hours. Cooperate fully with all court order conditions of the release, which is important. I'm hoping that those conditions of release are public. I haven't found it yet, but hopefully we can find that because everybody needs to know the conditions of those release, especially the community that he's living in. But I think every state should have this. Like, we should be talking to each other, because what if he moves without permission? Whatever. He gets hurt and has to be transported to 2 states away. Whatever. We all need to be talking and on the same page, right? In these states. Something about drugs. The confidentiality of drug and alcohol treatment records is protected, so there's that. A release of information is not required for communication between DHS and DOC. Hey, Bullhorn, welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. Everybody say hi to Bullhorn Betty. We had a fun Bullhorn Betty club night, girls' night out. What was it, Saturday? So funny. Talking about our worst dates, and it was great. So again, we're talking about Warren Harer, Candus's brother, because I found some information today that I think is going to be really helpful for the YouTube community to use. And think about, I want people to really think about this information and what it could mean to Rose. Like I said, again, I think Rose's case, if Rose's case is solved, it'll give us a lot of hope that we can get Summer's case solved. Not just, Dawn and Candus potentially indicted with no body. I think that we could find Summer. If we find Rose, we find Summer. Period. I just know it. So here's all of the rules about conditional release. Again, I'll say it again. Warren Harer is under conditional release as we speak. He lives in Wisconsin under supervision of DHS. All right. Shouldn't leave the country. No alcohol or drugs. No borrowing money or credit. Like, they're very specific. So you're going to see this on the list of things that I found. Agent case assignment sources. There's just a bunch of stuff here. Release of information. Let's see. Agents, case managers, institution staff, and DHS conditional release specialists may communicate with each other about, let's say, Warren, without the need for a signed release. A release of information from the client must be signed for details about the client's records to be shared with all other people and agencies. Huh? All right. There's my answer that I was asking for. But there are stipulations to this. I'm actually having to request that one of the family members, I believe, has to sign off on that. They have a certain amount of time, and then if it doesn't happen, then I have to do it all over again and again and again. I highly doubt anyone's going to sign off on that for me. Nearly all information about not guilty by reason of mental disease of defect cases is considered confidential and is protected under this. However, if Candus is feeling a little frisky and he's sure have it all, then we could go there, but we can't. Until then, never going to happen. So I also saw this in a case. I was searching in Michael Vaughn's case, and I did see that one of the suspects, in my opinion, who was arrested on the morning of Michael Vaughn's disappearance that day, he has the same situation that's going on here. You could not get any information about his stay in the Oregon Department of Health in the mental institution. You can't get that information. It's confidential. It's protected. So it's very hard to understand if maybe there was anything that could help with Michael's case, because I figured this guy was arrested that morning. What if Michael actually left the day before? Who knows, right? And I called the prosecutor's office, and they were basically like, Tough luck. Tough luck. You ain't going nowhere with this. However, they did confirm that, the time of this guy does not match up with when he was reported missing. He's still on my shit list. But anyway, information when it comes to mental defects and things like that, when state care is involved, so hard to get any information from. This is the problem, So this is where the research needs to come in, right? Anyway, there's home visits. Clients may not leave Wisconsin. Sorry about you. Can't leave. Does that mean that they do anyway? Probably. How are they going to know? Unless they have an ankle monitor, right? Oh, did I turn off my super chats? Maybe that's why. That's okay. Who cares? I am not worried about it. Anyway, so the list goes on. Here, I'm going to post this in my community page and put it on like the links that everyone can kind of look into if you want to, or anybody on YouTube. At Bullhorn, you're more than welcome. I really want people to look into Warren Harer and maybe the connection between Rose Bly. This is kind of where I'm getting at today. So let's just keep on going with the commitment sought. So again, 1994, guilty, not guilty by reason of mental defect. 2013, let's jump to there. They want him locked away in the health state mental institution, right? Because of his SV violence and his mental disorder. It's dangerous. The state's petition alleges that Harer suffers from mental conditions that predispose him to engaging of you-know-what. It's only an allegation, the petition, and only allows a state cause to move forward. He's legally presumed not to be a violent person unless the state proves otherwise. Let's jump back to the cases that we see. All right. 1994, something was amended. In 2002, here's what gets me, guys, from 1995 to 2002, we don't know shit about this stuff, these charges and what happened and all that stuff. Nothing. Have no idea. Nothing. I can't find anything about what happened between 1995, and I'm assuming it's because he was locked away. I would hope that he went to some kind of, I don't know, halfway house. Guess is as good as mine. Maybe somebody else knows something better. Let me know if you do hear something. But I don't have anything for you after 1995. Something was amended, though, in that month. And this is what I want to know right here. I really want to know what happened right here that I would love for the web sleuths to look into if they can. Somebody knows. Somebody knows. And maybe they can shed some light. Guidance. Woohoo. 5 months. You go, girl. You go, Glen Coco. Lauren, hi, honey. So, all right, let's just kind of rein in on this. Oh, Mr. Eve. Hold on, Mr. Eve. Return of unclaimed undelivered mail service for Warren Scott Harer. Notice of hearing returned. Well, why? What was the hearing for? What happened here? Did you have a condition of release between 1995 and 2002 that we don't know about or I can't find? Because all I know is that he served some time, but I don't know where, I don't know how, I don't know when. All right. So I'm over here at the wisconsincourts.gov trying to find the actual documents, right? So let's see if I can find it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. I did. The defendant, Warren S. Hare, was found guilty of the following charges in this case. Escape, an unclassified felony under 946.423A. Say what? Warren escaped. Is this what I'm seeing here? Let's just look at this bad boy. I told y'all to be prepared because we're going down the rabbit hole. Because Rose matters. Rose Bly matters. Summer matters. All right. So let's look at this. Let's go back up. Escape. It's literally an escape charge. That is frightening. Pursuant to a legal arrest for or lawfully charged with or convicted of a sentence for a crime. Where'd you go? Let's just refresh. I lost my place. Well, damn it. Hold on, y'all. I am shocked that I didn't see this earlier. Okay, pursuant to a legal arrest for, lawfully charged with, or convicted of a sentence for a crime. So he jetted. He was like, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't doing no time. How the did you escape? That's what I want to know. I want to know. From where? Alexa, quit listening to me. Mind your business. The FBI's on me. They caught up with me, old tater tot here. All right. This is very shocking to me that I found this. Address, 1996. So these are kind of the things I'm trying to keep track of because I'm like, where were you, sir? I want to know where you were every step of the way leading up until 2009 because I'm going to show you something amazing. All right. I'm going to catch you up with chat real quick. Warren should have never been released. Preach. When he was released, I looked into him. He is an effing monster. I swore to the heavens, guys, that I saw his picture with a mask on in the Tennessee paper when looking up Tim Mullen. I swore I thought I saw Warren Hare. I swore. And I was like, no, there's no way. I am tripping. But if I find it again, I'm going to pull it up. I swore. There was no way it was Tim Mullen in that picture. But, you know, times were different then. Everybody was crazy as hell. Especially me. Give me just a second here. Where was I? Oh. Excuse me. Rose must be coming through. She's like, you're getting so close. I do. I feel like when I felt her and I was researching, she was just like, oh, finally. You're so stubborn. Ruth Thiel. View history and details of the charges. No contest. Guilty. Local jail. He was sentenced on, you cannot, I swear to God, I could not find this shit on him. I could not find these little things. Hi, Mr. Eve. Sorry I missed your call. He was only in jail for 6 months. Here it goes. In 1996, he was placed in jail for 6 months because of his running away, his escape. That's interesting. 6 months before that was what? January. Yeah. So offense date was 6/25/1996. Did you escape from prison or did you escape from DHS? That's what I'm wondering. But you can't find that shit because it's protected. Those records are protected. But, grr, right? So let's see where 4100 Sherman Road is. These things are important. Everybody say hi, Mr. Eve. So this is the address. A park. No, I see asylum point. Hold on. Let's see. What does that mean? State hospital. Okay. It was a state hospital. He got out of there. Boy, he sure did. Winnebago Mental Health Institute. Okay, so that's probably where that clears it up. So he did, in fact, get out. Escaped, rather, excuse me. So we don't see anything else. I don't see anything else in between that time. Well, let me sort the filing date here from oldest to newest. Okay. So Warren, little sneaky devil, got out. Nothing, you hear nothing. Let's go to 2002. All right, so small claims. Judgment for money because probably what had happened, I guess. I don't know. Oh, it's an eviction. Excuse me, I apologize, I was wrong. Class code description, small claims eviction. So here's what I'm getting at, guys. I believe, because we don't have the records to show this, of the condition of the release, obviously, I just showed you that they don't have to provide that if they were, in fact, not guilty of mental defect. They don't have to tell you shit about his release commitments. This is key, in my opinion, to Candus and her family in Wisconsin, including Jeannie, including Candus Bly, Candus Jr. This is a interesting little tidbit of information. I do think that he was released and could go out into the world and work. I did see a work release, and this is what I'm getting at. Let's look at 300 River Street Apartment 4. This was his address in 2002. If it's an actual apartment complex, maybe a halfway house, it shows, you guys, that it was possible that around 2009, when she went missing, you have to think, is it possible? Could he have retaliated if, in fact, these 8 charges that was put against him, which put him in this mental institution, in the state's custody, rather, could that have been enough reason to harm Rose? And it just at the time, ironically, they were fighting. Rose and Chris Larson was fighting, and things were going wrong. And I don't know, Facebook launched like a few years before she went missing, so it was still building. There was MySpace. Do they have access to MySpace or Facebook in DHS? Do they have access to any kind of social platform? A lot of rules and regulations were put in place then, right? It makes you wonder, was Rose catfished? Oh, congrats, Martha. Mr. Eve, people are not paying attention now because you took the show. Of course, he's free labor until 18. Oh, toddler Eve, yeah. Martha, congratulations. She just got her third foster baby. Thank you for doing that. That is very hard work. Dope Soul in the chat knows all about that. But anyway, let's get back to this real quick. I'm sorry, but congratulations. I'm really worried about this. That now he's out and has been out since 2021. Speaking of Warren, is this why grandmother Candus, is that why she went back to Wisconsin? She was preparing for Warren to come to be released. We've already kind of heard that before. Excuse me, right? So that's interesting to me. Was he in a halfway house? Was he really looked after? Was he, was it safe? Was he looked after? Thank you, Susanna, for defaulting and paying attention to me. Just kidding. I think it's important. Well, hush. Bye. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to have a coughing fit. Somebody doesn't want me to speak. All right. So he at one time resided, excuse me, at this 300 North River Street apartment. Doesn't look like it's like a halfway house. Interesting. It could have been at the time, though. So, let's keep going. I'm sorry. I don't care what anyone says. You cannot fix a monster. Fair enough. Oh my gosh, we got to see who of them still has a MySpace. All right, Mr. Eve. Thank you, honey. Thank you all for being so kind and warm to Mr. Eve. Let's just jump off of that now, okay? Let's just keep going. 2003, additional text for conditional release. There's a petition filed. All right. 2 months later, there was an appointing examiner to go over, I'm sure, the conditional release amendment or petition. All right. Confidential information letter from professionals. Mendota, I believe, is a mental health program in the state. I'm pretty sure. I looked it up earlier. Yeah, Mendota Mental Health Institute, located in Madison, Wisconsin. So they associate with the state to probably consult and say, okay, here's our expertise, blah, blah, blah. All right. A month later, they do a psychological evaluation, again, 2003. Ordered an appointing counsel 3 days later. Oh, in 2003, they have a stipulation, okay? Stipulation in order for conditional release. 2003. Are there previous address records on RSOs? There are, if they report it. But I'm going to tell you one thing. The 80% of the time that I've researched RSOs on the actual National Register SO site, it's not the same as the states necessarily. There's problems. A lot of problems. Like, they need to really clean that up. All right. So I guess there was a little issue here at the end of 2003, letter requesting extension. There was an order of some type, proposed conditional release plan. So then they came up with something new in 2004, February 5th, maybe saying, okay, here's what we recommend. There's a hearing. And in March of 2004, there was an order for supervised release. All right. I have a feeling that at one point, you have to notify each and every person that was involved in the original reason why you were placed in DHS care. I think I read it in the conditional release. Yeah, in this one right here that I will post on my community page. The conditional release program. All right. I think it takes time. You have to keep going back to court and say, we don't have their name, their address, phone number. They've moved. We can't get in contact with them. Can we extend this out? Right? So in 2006, there was a petition. I'm assuming on March 3rd, 2004, that supervised release was granted. I'm assuming. There was a petition, statement of probable cause for detention, and petition for revocation of conditional release. Somebody said, oh, hell no. Who let him out? Probable cause means there is potential evidence or reasoning for why they want him to go right back into the state's care. Yeah, his Sally My Jack said, in Illinois, the victim gets a letter when inmate is released. Texas as well. There's like a bulletin or something that gets released. And I'm pretty sure that's the same way in Wisconsin. You have to contact them somehow, some way to let them know. Or at least try. In 2007, statement of probable cause for detention and petition for revocation of conditional release was filed. There was some kind of other evidence. Here, guys, hear me out. I am not saying that this is the case. I'm not saying that this is exactly what went down, but listen to me. It makes sense when you start seeing these dates come up. In my opinion, in my logical brain, I feel that Rose Bly was the reason, in my opinion, or helped whoever filed these papers, was the reason why this revocation of conditional release was placed. She had babies. Think about this. She went missing in 2009. She had a 1 and 2 year old, basically, or a newborn and a 1.5 year old, I believe. So they were born 2007 and 8. Listen, hear me out. Or 2008, 2007, whatever. He had an order of supervised release in 2004. Can you connect the dots on why someone would want him back in DHS care? Please let me know in the chat what you think, because everybody's quiet. And I really want to know if I'm tripping. Is that something that is potentially a thing? Right? All right, so listen here. Statement of probable cause for detention and petition for revocation of conditional release. 2008. Notice of hearing on October 1st, 2008. I want to know who went to that hearing. I want to know who all went to that hearing against Warren Hare. Because in October, I believe that they appealed this decision to revocate this conditional release. And I feel like, listen, guys, the charges, think about this. What were the charges again? For guilty, not guilty by reason of mental disease. Let's click on it again. What did we say? What did we say that meant? Someone who is second cousin to basically a family member like a sister or immediate relative, correct? That's what we looked at. Who was it? Who was it that came to this hearing and said, hell no, you're not. Hell no, you're not going to get out. Matter of fact, you've been out, didn't know it. I would have done this earlier, you son of a bitch, but it could have been, hell, it could have been grandma. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Who knows? But what did I say about generational trauma? When it happens over a generation or two, and that's all you know, you still would go. Sometimes, some people would go and rescue their family members from this horrible grievance against them. It happens. It does. So what I'm trying to say, guys, is that this makes sense. This makes sense. And you want to know something else? Not only does it make sense, but I feel it. I do. So let's keep going. There was a notice of hearing on October 15th, demand for discovery and inspection. Now, this is the big one. I've always felt that Warren had something to do with Rose's disappearance in a sense of at least maybe trauma. I was always like, oh, it's just the trauma. And at the time, I thought that I knew exactly what trauma that would be. And I didn't fucking research, excuse my language, enough and let other YouTubers tell me what to feel and think. Won't be doing that anymore. And didn't even research. Just assumed I knew things. Right? It pisses me off that I do that. Because sometimes I'm so ADHD, I just everywhere. But this case is crazy, both of them. So demand for discovery. Show me the proof of what you're saying about these situations, all right, that you're saying he needs to be back in DHS custody and revoke or full time, right? Oh, Heather, if you're not a member, please, you get to remind me every month that you're a member and I will go, oh my God, y'all are so amazing. Without you, I am nothing on this channel. I will pamper you in words. Thank you, Heather. I really appreciate it. She says, thank you for all you do, Eve. You're one of the good ones. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I love all of my members, my mods. I appreciate you as well. Yeah. All right. So show me the money. Demand for discovery. Ooh, I'd love to get my hands on that transcript right there. Right here. 11/7/2008. Of hearing on revocation of conditional release and status held 10/15/2008. The status conference was on the 3rd of the next month. The notice of hearing was on December 9th, 2008. Remember, Rose Bly went missing in August of 2009. Okay? All right. Jump to February 9th, which is my birthday. But February 9th of 2009, there was a notice of hearing that went out that a hearing on, guess what? April 13th, 2009 at 9 a.m. went out. April. May, June, July, August. All right. The conference was on the 23rd. Notice of hearing on the 24th. To say another hearing. Listen to this shit. Another hearing on July 7th, 2009. Barb, was the cousin that Rose was supposed to meet this guy's daughter? Great question. Great question. Lauren, my birthday is 10/15. I love my Libras. Stay Tiger. Yes, the VNs is state to state, but operated federally only for victims of federal crimes though, of course, it operates differently out of Canada, i.e. via only by phone. That's really good to know, Stay Tiger. Thank you. In my opinion, Rose is a different breed than Grandis and Candace Warren, just like Summer, and that made them a target. Now listen, no. Listen. All right, something happened. Who the fuck knows at this point? Hearing on July 7th, 2009. July, August. 1 month. 1 month. Until Rose's disappearance. Right? May 11, 2009 transcript. Actual document filed in case 08CF93. This is May. So the hearing notice went out on July 7th, but there was some shit go down before then. May 11th. Transcript, other papers. Offer of proof in motion for admissions of audio-visual testimony of a child under 14 years. Do you remember what I said earlier? Jeannie, I don't know if she was under that age. I assume Candace was, or right at that age. Let's see. She's 41, I think somebody said. This is in 1994 when this happened. Minus 41. She was 13, maybe 14. It just depends. I'm not sure. But I know for damn sure who was under 14 years old. Does anybody have a guess? I'll wait. Until somebody says it. Rose. Trying to hold back tears. Because deep down in my soul, she told me something today. I researched this months ago. But I had some other things to attend to. Another case, Michael Vaughn. And I completely stepped away. Because I wasn't ready yet. I wasn't ready. I am today. Right? So we're going to look at this case here in a minute. This 08CF93. So in July, offer a proof of motion of admissions of audiovisual testimony under 14 years. The hearing was on the 7th of July. 1 month. We got 1 month. On the 21st, statement of probable cause for detention and petition for revocation of conditional release. There was an order on the 21st. Excuse me. Rose is here. Burpee. Notice of hearing. Status conference on August 6th, 2009 at 2:30. August 6th. Status conference. Additional text. Waives time limits. I'm not sure what that specifically means. I mean, I know that there's time limits in certain cases, but I don't know what that means. Like a clause, yeah. It's the event a grievance has not advanced to the next step within the time limit set forth in a crime. Then the grievance shall be deemed to be abandoned and all rights recourse. So they were saying, look, this is what I assume, I don't know. There's so much time that has passed since then. We need to do an order that there's a limit here. We can't use this against this Mr. Warren. Okay. Is what I assume. I don't know. So the waive time limits, probably talk about this. Guys, hold on to your butt cheeks. Hold on to your butt cheeks. Because on September 22nd, 2009, right here, the court revokes his conditional release. On 9/24, it says there's an order placed in the court for placement. On 9/24, on petition to revoke conditional release. 12/16/2009, revoked. You know what I think? I think that there is some retaliating bitches in the Bly family. That's part of the generational trauma that I am noticing. That's just my opinion. I don't have any actual proof. But from what we all have seen in Summer Wells's case and in Rose Bly's case, is that there seems to be some kind of tit for tat. I'll get you, you get me, I'll get you back harder. You know? Fuck around and find out. They should have that shit tattooed on Grandis and Candus's forehead. That's just me. Fuck around and find out. And I think that Rose fucked around and found out. And I think that if they don't get on the ball with Rose Bly's case very soon, you'll never find her. And you'll never find Summer. Wisconsin, get your fucking ass in gear. Or you'll never find her. The more that Grandis goes up there and gets away with this shit, you might just have a cold case forever. And then that also goes for Summer Wells. It's on you. It's on you. You need to look into the people within your police department. You need to look into Warren Harer if you haven't. I don't know what you've done or not done because you don't say anything and nobody knows anything. But I'm telling you, if you want 2 cases to go cold, don't do anything. Leslie Watkins, always when I get on the phone, here they come. Oh, the babies, yeah. That's just how kids are. Toddler Eve comes at the worst time. Like, he'll come up and while I'm recording a video and I give up. Right? All right. So anyway, 2009 was not a very good time for anyone who supported Warren Harer and anyone who thought he was going to continue his conditional release. Again, we're not going to get the conditional release because it's against the law to have that privy information, even though you have a dangerous RSO, at least at one point. Who cares, right? Grandis isn't allowed around any of her grandchildren. Now, do you understand This is probably the only saving grace, in my opinion, for Christopher Larson, Rose Bly's ex-husband. The only saving grace. I think she's as bad as he is. Maybe she gave her daughter and granddaughter to him. Maybe it's like he is Michael Myers. I think this was retaliation. Rose had it with these motherfuckers. I'm fed up taking you all down. All of you, every last one of you, generational traumatized motherfuckers. And I truly feel, this is just my opinion, that she paid for that. She finally did something to stand up for herself because no one else was going to do it. Grandmother wasn't going to do it. Grandis wasn't going to do it. I highly doubt favorite daughter, Candus and Jeannie were going to do it. Something happened. In my opinion, this is alleged for entertainment purposes only. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty by law, by a court of law. That's just my opinion. This makes sense, guys. Excuse me. This makes sense. Now, for this just to happen in 2009 of sheer circumstance, I don't believe in coincidences very often, but shit, this would be the most amazing one I've ever seen. I don't feel like it's a coincidence, but it very well could be. So in September of 2009, the petition to revoke conditional release was placed. Notice of case status change revoked. They were like, no. Especially after your niece is missing. So he's back in the state slammer, with no release. Now, mind you, I do believe he was working. And the reason why I say that is because there's a document in here that states he could go back to work. So I know he was working, right? 2010 in March, responsible court official changed. All this legal garbage. There was a judge assigned to a new hearing, notice of hearing. Not sure what that was. Request for substitution for probably another judge. Sometimes judges go get sick or whatever. Or have an emergency, whatever. In 2010, there is a demand for discovery and inspection. There's a public defender order appointed counsel. Mr. Eve, why are you slamming doors? Where are you going? Oh. Well, see ya. Hi, bye. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Huh? Receive it? No. Let me see that. Do you need that? Yeah. Take a picture and send it to me. Thank you. Say hi. Bye.
Hi, everyone.
I didn't see you. Okay. Love you. It's been a busy day.
Are you going?
Are you going right now?
Yeah, I'm going to go get pizza.
Okay. I'll meet you up there. All right. Sorry. Public defender order appointed counsel. 3 days later, ordered for psychological evaluation under 971.174C. We're almost done, guys. I promise. This was only supposed to be an hour, but I should have known better. Order for examination under this clause. Listen up. Who are you saying bye to, Brooke? Did somebody say something? Oh, to Mr. Eve. Boy, bye. Right. All right. Within 20 days.
What?
Nothing.
Hey, where's the scoop for the ice cream?
Hold on. Within 20 days after receipt of the petition, the court shall appoint one or more examiners having the specialized knowledge determined by the court to be appropriate, who shall examine the person and furnish a written report of the examination to the court within 30 days. The examiner shall have reasonable access to the person for purposes of examination. So it's an examination. for conditional release. Conditional release. The examiner shall report on the type of treatment and services that the person may need while in that community on the conditional release. That's important to me. Why isn't the community aware of what? I don't get it. I don't care what you're guilty, not guilty, because reason of mental defect is. The public should know, your community should know why you're out there in public and what your stipulations and what can you do, can't do. I don't know. All right. So the order for the psych eval, April 8th, application for specific judicial assignment was denied. They probably didn't like the judge. They probably thought he was impartial, and that's where that order for that change. This is interesting that they wanted this specific judge. I'm gonna look you up, boo-boo. I bet he's already either retired or gone, but I'm gonna check. Hi. Love you, bye.
Okay, love you. No, you keep talking.
Okay, I'm almost done. I promise, I swear. Just hang tight. So he got denied. Demand for discovery and inspection defendant on April 14th. On April 15th, the notice of hearing was sent on June 2nd. Compilation of record. So I don't see where the demand for discovery and inspection meeting happened, where whoever was, I don't see it. I don't see, maybe they just sent it over. I don't know. But I assume because Rose Bly wasn't able to attend, if in fact she was the one who was providing all of this information, what are you going to do? Sorry, Judge, she's missing. We don't know where she is. It's under an investigation. This is where the corruption of the law enforcement might come into play when I did my reading for Rose. All right. Okay. So on May 11, 2010, the psychologist examining report came out. On May 17th, a DHS letter came out, which is where he was housed. And there was an order for confidentiality on May 24, 2010, because we can't get shit. So remember when Chris Madonna was like, Grandis's court documents were sealed? Her criminal records were sealed? What if had something to do with that? Court denies a motion in June. Probably this order for confidentiality. On 12/9/2010, the conditional release petition was placed. There was a notice of hearing. Again, they just keep doing this over and over. Over and over and over. Am I ready yet? Am I ready yet? Can I get out now? Can I get my release? Conditions of release, conditional release, approved? Public defender. On and on and on. Here's 2011, demand for discovery and inspection. Ask questions about the information of the case and the psychological evaluation report. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Let's see. Finally, there was an order for a conditional release plan. Excuse me. Somebody doesn't want me talking. Hold on. Sorry about that. Yada, yada, yada. Proposed conditional release treatment plan, which is confidential, as I said, in 2011. From this judge, they confirmed a proposed conditional release plan in April of 2011. Excuse me. There was a social services letter of correspondence. There was a status conference in May and June. Public defender was once again appointed to probably Warren. There was a conference in July, notice of hearing, the same shit, different day. Hearing held off the record, Mr. Eve. What does off the record mean?
It means there's no court records.
There's no court record of what?
What was said.
What was said. Damn it! How do you do that? What do we call it in Texas? Damn it. Anyway, I can't remember. I'll think of it in a minute. Writ of habeas corpus.
And that.
It means there were secrets, y'all. There were secrets. Something happened. Some information was, and that couldn't that be like mediator? A meteor?
A mediator?
Mm-hmm. Off the record, but mediator wouldn't be off the record. Would it?
It depends. Like I said, it depends on what.
It would still be in. There would be an order.
Well, if it's confidential information, like somebody's mental health,
yeah,
stuff like that.
Okay. So in 2012, partial transcript of conditional release hearing held. Order for placement. Same shit. DHS letter, order for subsequent placement. So it seems like the state was like, no, y'all, this man cannot be out doing stuff. It seems to me like somebody was already assumed that maybe something had happened when Warren Harer had conditional release already to work. I can tell you that he was working at the time that Rose disappeared. Or at least beforehand, excuse me. So here we go. Same thing, different day. It looks like every 4 months, like we said before, that we saw before, there is a evaluation to see if he could be conditionally released, right? So it's the same thing. Now am I ready to go? Interesting. Why is he in Rusk County Jail in 2017? Anyway, there was a notice of address change, ironically a jail. There was probation offered April 28, 2017. Says additional text per Kelly something, probation hearing no longer needed. May 2017, change of address. Let's see where this is. That looks like the house, that building that he was in. Hold on. Boats and hoes. It's the Catalina wine mixer. We need to see where Warren was working. So interesting. Yeah, there it is. That damn metal building. Oh, Lord Jesus. This is what it looked like in 2015. And in 2018. So I think he was staying there for a lot longer. Anyway, guys. Wrapping up, I promise. So there was a hearing on May 12th. Records of prosecutors are converted into digital data. Woohoo! Case converted into electronic filing. 12/21/2018, the court regarding line of sight supervision. Now, 2018, it says that he could probably live really, really close to his probation officer or like somewhere, like a jail. I don't know, somewhere. Here's another change of address in 2019. Excuse me. Oh, for the psych eval lady. To review terms of conditional release in 2019 in November. Notice of hearing to attend January 3rd, 2020. Motion hearing on January 22nd. Motion. Now listen here. I'm trying to hurry. On January 22nd, 2020, defendant Warren Scott Hare appeared with attorney blah, blah, blah. Case on for a motion hearing to review or modify terms of conditional release to address line of sight provision. Court takes judicial notice of correspondence regarding this issue. The state does not intend to call witnesses. State opposes motion. I don't think they could have got any witnesses because what were the charges? We already know. Who couldn't testify because they were missing? I digress. Original sentencing is very complicated, and to look at one aspect of sentence does not allow court to look at overall sentence that court put together, believes it is deleterious to original sentence. Issue was raised once before and denied. Facts and circumstances have not changed. What? What is that made up word, deleterious? I thought it meant like the same, like a repeat. Causing harm or damage. Anyway. Having attempted to comply with VR, but not all victims able to be reached. Not all victims, because one of them was missing. State had made reasonable efforts to comply, but not aware of all victims' present addresses. Court reviews history of conditional release plan. Homeboy makes an argument. Court makes a statement. Court must look at when making a decision to terminate. Homeboy makes a statement that he has sufficiently set up a legal standard. Court believes the motion is premature as no job interview is pending. So I think one of the conditional releases was that you had to have a job lined up for you to start when you leave. Court reviews criminal complaint, very serious crimes. Court reviews letter from LSS as of 12/28/2018. Homeboy believes that Warren is in good standing with current employer and current facility. They ask the court to hold motion in abeyance until he has further information. Court holds motion in abeyance until further submission. Update report from one of the facilities as to how he is doing at that time. I guess his job. Court will not schedule any further hearings until motion is supplemented, and Mr. McLaughlin will need to reschedule with JA. So here we go. 2020, probably COVID messed up a lot of things for Sir Warren. But somehow in 2020, October 2020, there's a notice of completion, meaning that something had happened to where his conditional release would be set for a certain date, is what I assume. Okay. Conditional release treatment plan. Official report was on the 2nd, which is confidential. And he is out right now, released as of September of 2021. This is the man, Warren Harer. This photo was taken in September of 2021, verified as of the latest information on April 25th. All right. This is potentially how easy it is to, in my opinion, look one way but not another. when someone goes missing. Now, I don't know what this January 24, 2022 is, but it says death letter to Judge Winton. Maybe somebody wrote a letter to the judge stating, hey, maybe somebody jumped the gun and already feels the same way I do. I don't know. All right. I don't. What I do know is that this is very fishy around the time of Rose Bly's disappearance. It makes me think that she was potentially the one who was going to provide the information to keep this violent RSO from getting any kind of a conditional release at all. And I think the one person who can't speak for herself today was a victim, again, of this horrible man and horrible family. We all know it. That's a very good point, Grammy H. Ironic that Candus' dad passed away in 2021 and he gets out after he passed away. Now, I want to tell you something, guys. There was another man that was charged or wanted to, the community wanted this man to be put in a mental institution as well for his violent tendencies. I connected by eviction and property records that Candus's ex-husband, I believe, or was it husband or cousin? I don't know. I don't want to get it wrong. But anyway, close to the family, Christopher Marcos. We all remember Christopher Marcos, who was allegedly connected to 110 Ben Hill Road, or the shed. All right. I connected that man to Christopher Marcos, who is also connected to Warren by real estate, by properties lived, right? These are all violent people, all right? Could it have been a multiplayer situation? And once again, instead of Senior Candus dictating the holler in down there in Hawkins County, what if she was doing it in Wisconsin? Chris Marcos was the cousin. Okay, thank you. Now, Lisa K. Ruitz, she's blocked me. But if I hear her say one more time that Mr. Marcus is cleared, when I called the detective myself and he said that was not the case, no one is cleared, I want someone to please direct her to this video and this timestamp. Do not listen. Because this 2009 information about these charges, guys, no matter what, may just be the clue. And maybe that's why they have no way of doing anything about Rose Bly's case until this motherfucker messes up. Until Warren Hare messes up. And that is a shame, because that means a potential victim is in the midst on behalf of trying to solve these two cases. That's the generational trauma that I am referring to that keeps going, and it has to stop. Law enforcement, do better. What do you need? What do you need? We should not be having to do this for you. I have a life. We have lives. I want to thank you all for being here for almost 2 hours. I appreciate this. I think that this is very good information that I want all YouTubers to use as much as they want to. I'll put the links in the description box. I'm getting back into my spooky dookie box, spirit box, EVP session. And I want to tell you something. If you don't believe, that's okay. But I would have never gotten to this without it. And I really want you to be open-minded because these EVP sessions are coming full force. And again, I would have never known to look for this without Rose Bly in the spirit. All right, guys, have a wonderful evening, wonderful weekend. Hug yourself, your babies, your fur babies, your grandbabies, whatever babies. And I will see you on the next live. Drink your water because your girl Eve needs to. Bye. Have a great one.